Welcome back to another edition of the Course Creation Incubator Podcast. I'm Gina Anativia, your course coach, consultant, digital strategist, whatever you want to call me. I'm here to get you stoked about your course creation and marketing and help you build the business of your dreams. I just got back from doing an event with Bo Eason's team, his wife Dawn, Colleen Huck, and Mary Kincaid called Story to Stage. And every time we do it, we change it up a little bit. And I love that it's a constant evolution. We're always looking to up-level the event. And as a result, I'm looking to up-level my own content that I'm teaching. And I usually do one talk, one chunk, and then we do some panels. And we expanded the event this time to a day and a half because we gotten feedback that it was a lot of awesome content, but a lot shoved into one day. Now, the outcome of this event is to teach you how to become a successful speaker on stage. And as part of this event, I teach potential speakers, entrepreneurs, business owners, how to build out your marketing, your conversion path in terms of what you bring to the table with your online marketing. So because we expanded it to a day and a half, I had more time, which was really fun. I got to play with the content a little bit more. I got to workshop and take more shares. And I thought to myself, how can I take my content and my approach to the next level and keep raising the game of what I'm teaching? So I thought it might be fun to take the process that I just went through to up-level my event content and apply it to your course, your workshop, your coaching program, whatever you're building right now. And so say you do a mini launch or a beta, or you do a dirty beta like I talked about with Tony Bosch, or maybe you do one of the low risk ways to put your course out there, which I covered in episode 99. So say you do that and you're thinking about the next one, the next program you're putting out. Maybe you do a couple of these steps and continue to improve. Before I dive in, let's determine how to know when it's time to up-level. Well, you might have an opportunity to promote your program again. Maybe you're putting out to a different group or in a different environment. Maybe you're putting it out to the same audience and you want to change it up. You want to mix and match your content. Maybe you've gotten feedback that you should be updating certain areas of your content. This is a great time to up-level then. Either way, you definitely want critical mass. You definitely want enough feedback to go on to know what you're going to up-level. So you might want to table this podcast or bookmark it for later if you feel like either you don't have enough feedback to know how to up-level your course, or you just haven't put it out there to enough people and you're ready to move forward with some changes. All right, let's dive into how you can up-level your course and your program. And it starts with step one and really asking, does this serve my students? And what's happening now in their lives is such an important question. Going back to that episode I did with Prerna in 103 and really understanding where your student is right now and getting a pulse, right? I'm always asking, what's happening with my students? Where's their frame of mind? What do they really need? So for example, in 2020, when everyone was at home, longer trainings worked because people had plenty of time to watch, right? We were all online. Fast forward to today, and what we're seeing is that people don't necessarily want those longer trainings anymore. So we want to make those changes, even in the format of your content, such as breaking up videos into shorter chunks, can help you better serve your students. Here's another example. The online marketing space is getting more crowded, let's be honest. So it takes a bigger effort to be seen and to gain that know, like, and trust factor. You want to ask yourself, how can I stand out by even being of greater service? Now, I always like to go and look back at content, especially for online marketing. Things are changing all the time. I'm always looking at trends. Am I meeting my students where they're at? What do they really need? What's happening? What's shifted since I've built out this course or I've done this event? So for this event, for example, I had a piece around lead magnets, a piece of content. And I said to myself, okay, well, this was relevant a year ago or even 6 months ago, but I want to update that content. What's happening now? Because I want to be conscious of the climate, what's happening in the US and around the world. So step one, really thinking back, what is happening with my students? What's the mindset here? So this is something I teach even with my accelerator. Every time I teach it, I look at what do I need to change up? What's changing in marketing? What's changing in courses? What's the online environment like? Here's another great question to ask. Am I doing this in the right order? Would my students be better served if I shifted the flow around? And that's what I've done for my 6-week accelerator. I'm constantly shifting things, even lessons within weeks or modules. I'm shifting them around in an effort to better serve my students based on the feedback that I'm hearing. And by the way, you've been hearing me talk about the 6-week accelerator on demand, includes coaching with me. There's no better way to get your course done in 6 weeks. Sign up for the waitlist, coursecreationboutique.com/6 weeks. I'll link to it in the show notes if you're interested in working with me to get your course done. Okay, so step 2 for upleveling your course. And by the way, I get people who come to the accelerator all the time looking to uplevel their course. I would say about 20% of each class is looking to take their course to the next level. They put something out there. They know they put out an MVP or a minimum viable product, and they're looking to raise the level. So if you've put out a course and maybe you know you can raise the level on it, I would love to work with you as well. So step 2 is, what am I teaching now that I want to incorporate? Because knowing what your students' mindset is number 1, right? And meeting them where they're at and meeting their needs. And the second thing I want you to consider is, what are you teaching right now? Because my content's always evolving. Your content's evolving. As I talk to more students, I continue to create content. And I want the same for you. I'm always teaching content with this podcast. For example, I teach a hiring piece at this event, and I have a hiring podcast, number 84, where I taught a no-fail hiring process. So I thought, hey, this is a great time to incorporate this content, this system, into this event. So I incorporated those 5 steps that I talk about in the podcast. I tailored it to who was in the room because it's something I'm teaching now that I wasn't teaching 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. So you want to incorporate whatever it is that you're bringing into the world now and into the environment. I'm always looking at my content and asking, okay, well, should I tweak this? Like, I used to teach the post-it exercise a certain way, and I continue to refine it. And I give you guys those updates because I want you to be even better course creators. So I'm challenging myself to up-level my core content and my bread and butter and my formulas. And I want you to do the same. Then finally, step 3, based on steps 1 and 2, what do my students really need? And what am I teaching now? Then I ask myself, what do I need to adjust? This is where I start to really edit. And this is where I start to take action. So I'm looking at what no longer works. So say if you're teaching a social media course, for example, something that was very relevant 2 years ago may no longer be relevant or existing, right? They're always changing up things on platforms, Instagram with videos, or what LinkedIn is offering in terms of lives and videos. So trends are constantly changing and we want to keep up with it. I'm not going to teach you social media. You guys know that. But in terms of course creation trends, I'm always tracking those in course selling. And that's why I love talking to people like Prerna and having her on, because she challenged me to think in a different way. And what am I teaching my students? What am I teaching event attendees? And then, of course, we get feedback. I got feedback and I start the loop all over again. Based on the feedback, I ask myself, okay, what do students really need? All right, what am I teaching now? Okay, then what am I going to adjust? Now, part of this feedback, I'm going to hear that some pieces did not work, and that is great. That is part of the creative process. Not everything is going to land. Just part of up-leveling and part of going through this process. Hopefully, this was helpful for you. If you're not going to up-level your course or your workshop or your program now, perhaps you'll up-level in the future. Keep this in your pocket for when you're ready. And then let me know at Course Creation Boutique if you're up-leveling your course and what you're doing to make it that much better to really serve your students. All right, I'll see you guys next week where I'm going to be talking about questions to help you shortcut your course creation process. If you feel like this podcast is making an impact in your life, I would love for you to leave me a review and subscribe so you don't miss a single workshop or an amazing guest. Until next week, go create, be you and be brilliant, and get it done.